Like Leeds United fans across the world, our voices are recovering, maybe a little bit hoarse at the end of that. What a win for Leeds United at Bramall Lane. 3-1, an incredible second 45 minutes. 3 goals for Leeds puts them comfortably top of the table. There's a bit of a gap there as well. Jermaine, Beckford and Don Matteo in the studio. We're just taking a bit of a deep breath here just to refocus ourselves. Dom, what a performance in the end there. Sheffield United threw a lot of us in the first half, and in the second, Leeds came out on top.
We did, but yeah, the way in the second half we played, and everyone was at the couple of changes we made as well really helped. Then we made more changes, but I think what we've seen again is a team that when we're getting beat can recover and get better, and that's one thing we couldn't do last year. Now we're doing it and maintaining that standards. The standards are everything at this football club, and the standards have gone up again. With that performance again, all over the pitch, you can pull anyone out, everyone's done well. You know, the goalkeeper we talked about in the first half had a few moments, but he's recovered. That's what good players do. They can recover and get better. I just thought all round again, that second half, it was a joy to watch. The start of it, they got into the game a little bit first 5 minutes, but after that, we dominated. And all over the pitch, we looked a better team by a country mile. And I'm sure that Sheffield himself will accept that in the second half we were much the better team and deserved to win that game.
It's interesting, at half time, both of you were saying there was disappointment to go to 1-0 down and the manner of that first 45. And you had a really honest conversation about that. I felt like maybe the players had the same conversation with themselves, because to go and turn it round like that, Bex, was something special.
Yeah, it was. And Dom touched on it there. The substitutions. Yeah. I think when we made those changes, Willie and Nonto especially, but Rothwell came on, those boys made a huge difference. The impact that Nonto had, especially him, I'm going to single him out, because it's very easy to come off the bench and then be a little bit down, a little bit annoyed and frustrated at not having your opportunity to play, to start the game, But when he came on, every time he picked the ball up, he was direct, he was driving forward, he was trying to make things happen, he was getting crosses and shots in, and he had 1 or 2 that stung the goalkeeper's fingertips, and it was moments like that make you think, well, that's the mentality that you want to see coming off the bench from your teammates. They were brilliant. Second half was a complete contrast to what we saw in the first half, and that's what we expected to see when the two teams came out of the first half.
And I think the team spirit again, celebrations, and it feels like we're seeing that every week now, but that celebration again, everyone being together. I mean, even the captain who's injured, I mean, I bet he'll be getting a telling off tomorrow. I'm sure he won't be, but
I wanted him to take it easy. I saw him sprinting down the touchline.
But football's the best thing in the world when that happens. You just can't take that away. And them fans again, they've had some amazing nights recently. And tonight for them boys coming home, it's not a long journey, but I tell you what, they're going to have the best.
They'll be enjoying it.
They'll be enjoying it, of course they will.
They did it against Sunderland just a week ago. They've done it again with the late goals. This time not 1 late goal, but 2. I mean, it really does go to show, doesn't it? Leeds, when it gets to the end of these games, they're obviously wearing teams down, whether it's through the fitness, through their ability to keep playing, because we're seeing now 2 of the top teams in the division have both kind of gone under with the weight of that pressure backs.
Yeah, we were talking off air, and the 3 teams around us, we've taken 7 points from them. And that in itself speaks absolute volumes. But you look at the last 2 games especially, really, really difficult games tonight and the last one, we managed to get the late goals. And that says the confidence is right up there. The team camaraderie is right up there as well. But the fitness levels of the players, and the belief of the players is sky high. They believe in each other, they trust each other, they know what they're capable of doing. They know that they wear opposition teams down, like you said, by keeping the ball, by moving the ball. They're relentless with the pressure as well. The constant pressure of moving the ball forwards, getting it out to the wide players. When the wide players get tired, they sub them off and bring 2 new wide players on who are just as quick and just as tricky on the ball. That's a defender's nightmare, but it's perfect for us, isn't it?
Yeah, I think as well, fitness levels that we've got at the moment is incredible. We just look so much fitter than any other team. And we don't stop. Even when we're having that bad spell, and we talked about that, with the recovery for me is the best thing, because that shows a proper team, everyone on the same page, sticking together, wanting to win. having that bit of bite about them, wanting to get that result, and we deserved it. We really did.
Okay, we'll look back at the goals in just a moment, but let's get some reaction from the tunnel, I think, down at Bramall Lane. Bryn Law and Tony DeRiga, who they're not having much time to kind of come down from the end of these matches at the moment, because the goals are going in late and they're going in with wins for Leeds United. So let's cross over. I think they're enjoying themselves and get the thoughts of our commentary team after tonight's big 3-1 win for Leeds United.
We love our Monday nights, don't we? This is becoming a bit of a habit now. And listen, it's happened again. Relapse, another throat. Absolutely seared by Leeds United's late efforts in winning games in the most dramatic fashion. Again, they've done it. How do they do it?
Belief, simple as that, belief. They really have a togetherness now that they believe no matter what happens, they can go and win a game of football. And it's a powerful thing to have. We saw against Sunderland at home. We're under pressure. We're 1-0 down, yet we come through that game. And here's the same. It's been a tough old 90 minutes of football. Certainly the first 45, we found it difficult. First 15, 20, we slowly grew into the game. But second half, that is some performance to come away and produce that sort of quality and that sort of ability in that second half.
And they just kept, much like last Monday, really, wasn't it? The pressure kept building in that last 20 minutes or so.
There's no taking the foot off the gas, is there? They're going to keep going, keep doing the right thing, and I go back to that saying that Daniel keeps saying and that's they want the team to be relentless. He wants his boys to be relentless, keep going. And in the end, Sheffield United, they couldn't keep the pace. They did it first 45 minutes. They were physically all around the pitch. Campbell ran himself into the ground, but he had to come off. Yet we were the ones that finished stronger yet again, and we can keep the ball. We were brave on the ball in that second half. Even when Rothwell came on, that gave us another bit extra, and we found the quality. And there were some great goals out there.
It was a really good way to wrap it up. 2-1 was great, but 3-1 was even better, wasn't it?
We can relax, couldn't we? The last seconds of the game. That doesn't happen very often, but Peru just such a low backlift as well. Didn't go back very far, but he hit it so sweet. And Cooper finally, we kind of got one to fly past him because he made some really good saves. But the third one, you're right, that was comfortable in the end.
And in the midst of it all, another goal from a set piece as well. That Joe Rothwell delivery, producing another successful strike.
Yeah, and if you think of how our set pieces have been, certainly previously, we've certainly this season been better. That's where it was one area for improvement. We've done that, and Rothwell, every time he gets on the ball, you sense there's some belief in the players making the runs as well. But you look at Dan James, that cross for Firpo is superb as well. So quality at the right time. First half, it didn't quite happen, but he kept going, kept believing, and it was a fantastic cross.
And when you see the stadium empty like it did, even after the second goal went in, there's a sense amongst the Sheffield United fans that they'd had a real opportunity tonight and they'd let it slip away, I think, wasn't there?
Yes, because the first 15-20 we might have been 2 down, not just the one goal either, so it could have been different again, but at the same time you've got to ride your luck, you've got to defend well at times and then just keep going. We went right to the very end, but it was us that came through in the end. And Sheffield United, you're right, their supporters started leaving, and that's why we got the quick third one, and that was it was all over.
The key gap obviously is great to have a 5-point gap to second place, but the key gap is to third place, isn't it? Because the top two go up, and that's the only real aim of the exercise ultimately.
You're right, and there's two things to keep in mind as well. We still have 12 games to go. What that points tally at the moment is not enough, so we have a lot of football still to be played. And you're right, forget second, it's third, and that's 7 points still. That's 3 games. That's a lot. It's starting to squeeze into a tough time for the likes of Burnley and Sunderland to get back into it. So we just keep mindful. Another vital 3 points, and on we go.
That's spoken lovely, calm, pragmatic.
Forget it. Well, come on, we're going up. No, we're not. No, we're not. Stop it. But it is plenty of points to play for still, and but we're looking good.
Spoken like a manager. Talking of which, he's not too far away. If you're wondering why we're not pitch side currently, it's obviously because Daniel's not allowed pitch side until 2 hours after the final whistle. Well, we're not hanging around that long, but we will be hearing from Daniel Farke, who's in the next booth to us here. I had this one done, Magnolia. He's in the next booth to us here, and he'll be with us shortly.
Love the boys.
Quite possibly the giddiest commentary team we've ever had. They're loving life. They've gone to home interiors. It's lovely stuff. As soon as Daniel Farke is ready, we will bring him to you straight away. Tony, they're creating himself as a meme now, having said that, and then retracting it very quickly. But that is the point, isn't it? I'm sure Daniel Farke will say, each game's worth 3 points, right? That is the key thing. And as much as I can't take the smile off my face, given the manner of what's happened tonight, and this combined with that Sunderland game last week, there's got to be a deep breath, doesn't there, Dom?
Certainly has. But again, you've got to give credit to the manager and the players and all the staff. Everyone's in it together. We can see that. It's plain to see for all of us. Everyone wants the best for this club. And the way we're doing it at the moment is just so good to watch. And we look efficient. I mean, we were having a bad time in that first half. We changed it quickly. And you've got to give the manager so much credit. And the players for wanting to do that. And we've seen, obviously, Ethan and Ampadu celebrating like that as well. It just shows the spirit that they have. And that spirit, it's easy. It's hard to get that sometimes. I've been at clubs where there's no kind of spirit like that. And you can't do anything. When you've got that kind of bond within a group, you've got half a chance, more than half a chance. It's massive. And it's just so good to watch. And seeing players enjoying winning is great, isn't it? Let's be honest, especially for a Leeds fan or for a player or ex-player, wherever. It's so good to watch because the style of football we're playing as well is so good to watch. But in that final third, we are so good. And no one would want to play against that team at the moment, honestly. In that final third and the midfield lads, everyone, it's just coming together so nicely at the right time of the year. This is like the time where you've got to be on it, and we're really on it at the moment, and long may that continue. It's work to do, as Tony said, but we've done some of the hard bits. We've got to make sure we follow up again, because that's it. Consistency wins you the league.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching you two celebrate as well, by the way.
Yeah.
We had fun.
Let's just nip back to that first half whilst we wait for Daniel Farke and just take a look, because it was a tricky start. We covered this at half time. We covered the goal. It will go down as a Matteo own goal. He makes a great save to tip it onto the bar, and then it all kind of unfolds so quickly, doesn't it, Jermaine?
Yeah, it does. It's a great initial header, lovely cross, great initial header. Very difficult technique to execute. He's facing the wrong way. Brilliant header, lovely fingertip save off the crossbar on the line. This is a poor header for me. He heads it against the post. It's an open goal. Meslier is unfortunate there. Maybe he goes with the wrong hand, but that's neither here nor there. That moment's gone now. This one here, Dan James is absolutely fantastic. And the whole game we've been screaming out for himself and Solomon to do that. Those type of crosses. Just lift it, put it in between the 6-yard box and the penalty spot, and just let somebody go and attack it. What a header that was from Junior Firpo.
And by the way, when someone stands it up as a defender, they're the worst ones, because someone's got to run on you.
Yes.
And obviously, Firpo didn't expect that. But I tell you what, he's so good at getting into them areas. And look at that header. Yeah, the late run, yeah. No one expects it. It comes from nowhere. Here he comes.
He does. He's the only one.
And he attacks it so well. And sometimes when you do that, you get, sometimes when you make that run, it's down to you. And for a fullback to do that, and he's been doing it regularly at the moment. And again, as Jermaine mentioned there, that is a brilliant ball from Dan James. In the first half, we didn't quite see that quality, but he changed it in the second half, and it was a brilliant cross. And what a header that is!
Yeah,
that is a belter.
He'd had an opportunity, Junior, hadn't he, with a header?
Yeah.
He just kind of had mistimed his run, but
Yeah.
that one. It's a number 9's finish, right?
Yeah, it is. Look, he plays in a more attacking position for the Dominican Republic. So, he knows where the goal is. He's one of the top goal scorers there. He scores goals. But it's just nice to see that not only is he getting assists while he's here, but he's starting to get a couple of goals as well.
And that's the moment, isn't it? And we've seen this recently with Leeds. To get that goal, suddenly you think, you're going to back Leeds at this point, aren't you, Don? Because of what we've seen them do recently.
Yeah, momentum's key. Like you say, we recovered so well, straight back into it. And there's a point there where it just felt like things changed. Them couple of changes, as Jermaine mentioned, when we made them, we just looked like we were back in control. Don't get me wrong, they still had a threat at times, but we just looked like a different team for that last 20 minutes. We looked like we were on the front foot. Things were going well. But we weren't getting complacent. I think in the first half we were a little bit complacent, but that was a great performance.
Okay, let's head back to Bramall Lane, because Daniel Farke, I'm sure a very happy Leeds United manager, was watching on from the stands, but is down now with Bryn and Tony to give his thoughts after Leeds' win tonight at Bramall Lane.
Thanks, Rich. Yes, we have Daniel with us. Daniel, that was quite the night, wasn't it?
Yes, of course, and to be there with such a spotlight win in a spotlight game, and also like the dramatic of the story of the game. I would say a poor start by our standards, and then to grow into the game, to fight our way back into the game, and to win this game. I would say in the end really deserved. Also in the final stages, yeah, can't be much better. And for us, great night, and obviously priceless 3 points.
There's one person missing from the celebrations. Obviously, that was you. How was it watching from above? Was it difficult from watching from up top?
Very high. A bit less emotional, of course. Yes, the tactical view is good. You can, of course, you have a good view on what happens in tactical terms, but also the reaction to the first 20-25 minutes wouldn't have changed even on the sideline, because we lost a bit the basics. The basics is always like, not that we didn't invest enough into the game, but we're not brave enough. We were too nervous and not proactive with the ball, had cheap losses of the ball, and then if you start nervous and without courage anyhow, then you also not switch on against the ball. So cheap loss of the ball before their first goal, then we allowed the easy cross O'Hare against our centre backs, wins a header in our box. This goal was more or less a sign of how we started into the game. I can't complain too much about it, because you could feel that the lads were also a little bit down in the last 24 hours due to the injury of our captain East Nampadu, and at the moment we're training and traveling just with a pretty small group, but it is what it is, and for that, great reaction. So after 25 minutes we started to play our football. We grow into this game against a good side, really good side, no doubts about this. In the end, the tight game was then also, I think, a well-deserved win.
I think they knocked us out of our stride, there's no doubt, the first 20-25 minutes, but second half, how we grew into it and then controlled things and then showed that quality.
Yeah. Yes, I think, I like to analyze the game in an analytical way and speak about tactical things, but of course you work on a game plan and you work how you want to create chances, but if you don't play football with courage, if you're not robust enough also like in keeping the ball in your offensive duels, then you will always have problems in order to execute the plan. This was the case in the first 25 minutes. Credit to Chris Wilde and his boys as well. I think they started really on fire in the first 25 minutes, and they impressed us also with their physicality, unbelievable intensity. But once we started then to grow into this game and find our rhythm, our confidence back, I think then, yeah, like you mentioned, we grew from minute to minute into this game, and in the end was then, I think, also no doubt that it's possible to deserve.
1-1, would you have been happy? Or didn't look like that in terms of what the team did anyway?
No, we always play in order to win football games. Of course, if you can't win it, then you have to make sure that you don't lose it. And for the table, it would have been a good result anyway. But in our DNA, it's not like to play for a draw. And I would never sign before a game a draw. So it's always like we go for it. And if we have a few minutes left in added time, then we also try to go for it. Otherwise, you can't score so many late goals if you don't have this attitude. So it's not always possible. But today, another sign of that's the right way to approach a game, at least our way to approach a game, and this won't change. Yeah, sometimes you also concede a cheap counter attack. You can't avoid this, but we wanted to go for it because in our DNA it's always like we play to win, and this credit to the lads.
In Ethan's absence, in your own absence in terms of presence on the touchline, others have stepped up and done their job well tonight, I guess.
Yes, well done. Big compliment to my coaching staff, but also to the players. It's not that easy when you have a sucker punch like Max Wilber, Patrick Bamford are already out, then East Nampadu is out, was till this morning more or less a bit doubtful if Mano Solomon could have started. Then the manager's not around here. If I think it wouldn't be beneficial that I'm in the dugout, I would always sit in the stand. And of course, I hope at least it's beneficial for the team when I'm around and give them a bit more clarity and a bit more confidence. I think this was also perhaps a reason for the slow start. Credit to them that in such a spicy atmosphere and such a heated atmosphere, they were able to find their confidence back and grow into the game. And big credit to the players, especially the young players today who stepped up. And obviously, big compliments also to my coaching staff. The excellent work today.
Last one. Table looks good tonight, doesn't it? 5-point gap to second place.
Yes, like I mentioned, looks good, but 75 points won't let us finish in the position where we want to finish, so we have to keep going. Tough home game on Saturday. We have to recover quick. Also have to make sure that we had to invest a lot in this last 2 emotional games, that we have the same level of emotion also in the home game. So we need probably also in this game that our supporters carry us a little bit. I hope they are capable to do this, because tough times anyhow, unbelievable February that we have delivered, but we have to keep going, and if you all together with our supporters, in order to achieve what we want to achieve in the end.
Can't wait. Good night. Well done. Thank you, Daniel.
Excellent. Good stuff,
Daniel. Daniel Farke, who, guys, I'm sure just be delighted that potentially not being there on the touchline in such a difficult game, you know, that's got difficulties written all over it. But to see that his players in his absence managed to step up to that kind of role of being able to, you know, give those instructions that they're not getting from the manager, he must be delighted just to get this one done and to have got the points.
And also, he mentioned the coaching staff. They're playing a huge part as well. We always talk about the manager. We don't probably know too many behind the scenes, but they're doing a brilliant job, all of them. So obviously, someone's had to stand in for Daniel earlier. Done brilliantly. So he can trust his team now and all his players, and that's massive. Trust is everything in football. Once you can trust your players and your manager's got that kind of mindset with the group, and he's not letting them get complacent. That's the one thing I was just worried about. Do we get complacent because we are so good and we are playing so well? I don't see that. And I think the leaders in the group won't let that happen. And, you know, when you're in that position, just keep going. Keep moving it forward and keep being the best you can be. And there's competition for places. And when we change things, nothing really changes too much. And the manager's making the changes again, even better, I think. I think his changes are getting even better. You know, we've all been critical a little bit for making these changes a little bit late, but how can we knock the manager at the moment? He's doing everything right. He's been absolutely spot on with everything he's done. The way he speaks, a breath of fresh air to me, because he's not getting too carried away, as all the good managers do. Next game is what we're looking at now, you know, and we go again. Simple as that.
2 very late goals to make it 2-1, then 3-1. Let's just take a look at the second goal here. And Altanaka with the finish. You know, Altanaka scored that goal against Sheffield Wednesday in front of the Cop here at Elland Road with a deft little flick. It was so clever. This is such a clever header, isn't it? You look at it first time, you think, oh, it's a great header. And then you look at it here on the replay, which we'll see in a minute, Bex. How smart is this, the way he's positioned it?
I love it. I love it, because when the corner comes in, Tanaka's at the back post having a little bit of a scuffle with Ben Hamer.
Yeah.
And as soon as the ball's won and we win the first header, Ben Hamer switches off. Tanaka goes around the back of him. You can see it on this clip here. Has a little tussle, goes around the back, and the header is brilliant. A lot of people would say, why do you not go near post? Why do you not go near post? Which would be your natural instinct. But that's because the goalkeeper's going over there. He's not put any power behind it. He's used the pace of the ball already and redirected it back towards where it's coming from, away from the goalkeeper and just over the defender on the line. That is fantastic.
And I think Bex is bang on there, because that's anticipation. He's the one who's gambling, you know, and when you do gamble, you get rewards. You'll tell you know, Bex was a striker. When you make them gambles, sometimes you don't get them. But I tell you what, to guide that into that corner, the top corner, it's a real nice touch as well. You know, I was a centre half, and I'd have been proud of that header, but that was perfectly. No, it's just the weight of it as well. Because like I said, there was pace on the balls. You didn't have to put. He was just guiding it into the right area. Brilliant finish, really was.
Junior Firpo with an 8th assist of the season as well. Those are racking up, following up his goal contribution. And then, of course, right at the death. We didn't have to wait too long for a third, did we? What a hit this is. Come on, Bex, talk us through this. I mean, you know, we've seen Joel Pirro, Matteo Joseph comes on, just drops a little bit deeper into this 10 spot, and wow.
What a strike. And do you know what, right? I'm so happy for him on a personal level, because throughout the whole of this game, he's found it quite difficult to get involved in the game. He's not really had a lot of the ball to feet or in behind or anything like that. But a few minutes beforehand, maybe 5 or so minutes beforehand, he picked the ball up and you could see the frustration in him. He just lashed at a shot. It went wide, or the keeper saved it. But you could see that anytime he picks the ball up around the edge of the 18-yard box, he's got one thought, and that's what I love about him as a forward player, as a striker. Go for goal, and he always does. But the thing that sets him apart, you look at him here, he's had a quick glance over his left and right shoulders, very little backlift, but he strikes right the way through the ball. Look at this here, bang, strikes right the way through the ball there. The ball, it moves ever so slightly, but that's what he brings. He brings that calmness. There's very little. He's not fussed. flustered or stressed or anything. He's just chilled, and I like that.
He just knows
Tom,
what he's...
forgive me, I'm going to dip in only
Sorry,
because
that's no problem.
we have Junior Firpo ready to speak. Like we mentioned, goal and an assist for Junior. Those numbers are racking up. The goal that got us back into the game. Let's get his thoughts post-match with Bryn and Tony.
Thanks, Rich. Junior, great night. Enjoy that.
Yeah, really enjoyable, to be fair. It didn't start how we wanted, but obviously I think this team has shown again the big character, the big togetherness, the big self-belief, how good we are when we are even from behind, and when we concede the goal, we keep going, and this is what we showed today, I think big resilience, big belief, and a big character as a team.
Could you feel the way that the balance was maybe shifting a bit in the second half when you were starting to get on top in the game?
Yeah, in the second half, obviously, I felt like we were all over them. I felt like they were getting tired and tired. Also, they make a few subs thinking on secure the winning, so they just gave up more space to play, more space to go forward, to go for the equalizer. And I think just once we score, we are on a different mode and we just turn the game.
You had a header, the first one, you didn't quite get on target, but second one, you planted it fantastic in the back of the net.
Yeah, to be fair, the first header I was a little bit disappointed with me because obviously it was not as easy as the second one, but it was a good chance. And I don't know, I just had the confidence that another ball will come in the same place, so I just kept doing that run. I know DJ is a good crosser, so he just put the ball perfect to me in my head, and I just scored. So really happy.
There was no idea in anybody's head that 1-1 was a good score, was there? You carried on from that point. You wanted to go and win the game.
Obviously, before the game, we told before the game, and we know that a point is a good result. But being losing position, equalizing the game, and being in that rhythm that we were at that moment, and watching them that they were getting tired, and we bring fresh legs from the bench. Obviously, we knew that the win was there for us.
Great celebrations at the end. Sort of night that everybody will want to remember this, isn't it?
I think this is 2 nights in a row that everybody will remember. I think is really good. Obviously it's been a really good season. I think we are doing unbelievable, especially since December. We are playing really good football. We are getting really good results against really difficult teams, and I think everything is there for us. So we will just have to keep going and doing exactly what we are doing.
Well done. Great night. Well done. Well played.
Well done.
Well, there you go, Junior Firpo, and talking about the celebrations at the end, a night they won't forget, and 2 of these we've had on the Monday nights in a row. And you mentioned this a little bit earlier as well, didn't you, Dom? Ethan straight in there, not fit to play tonight. We'll wait and see what that injury is. But look at him, that's a leader there.
Of course it is. And I said at the start of the season, have we got enough leaders? It looks like we have now. And I said Dan James has stepped up as a leader. There's so many of them. And it's great to see that. In football, you don't have many moments of that, do you? You get the odd one. And when you get that with our fans, and it just means so much. I know how much that means for fans. Bex will tell you. We all know that away games for the fans like that tonight, it doesn't get any better,
Against rivals as
Yeah,
well.
against rivals. It just feels so good. And the confidence, again, we'll get from that. No, we're not getting carried away. But let's be honest, let's enjoy that moment. And for them fans as well, I keep saying it because at the end of the day, they have been incredible again this year. They have. And that, for me, is just the icing on the cake to get such a good win against, in a derby, against one of our biggest rivals. And it was a tough night to start with, but we got where we needed to be.
I think that about sums it up, doesn't it? Absolutely brilliant. We've had a very lovely time, to be quite honest with you. Leeds United have done the business on a second Monday night in a row. Blades blunted. Leeds on the march, top of the Sky Bet Championship. We'll see you back here for Matchday Live Saturday lunchtime here on LUTV.